All right guys, my dog Evan got a little honeymoon trip coming up, so I'm gonna get him together. Haven't cut him on the channel for a long time. I'm gonna do a little high taper, so let's get into it. All right guys, so he has a little bit of weight here behind the ear we're gonna get rid of. He likes the top. We're just gonna kind of cut through here and create kind of that shape of the haircut that we want and get rid of this weirdness behind the ear. So I'm starting off with a number 4. Just gonna feed straight up in. We don't wanna give him a box, so I'm not trying to go straight up. I'm just kind of flicking out, cutting into the curl that we already can see. Just kind of getting it off behind the ear in the very bottom of his taper. We don't wanna see a whole lot here. It's not gonna take a whole long time. We're just gonna slightly clean up the sides before we come in and do a taper. So we're gonna do a high taper, guys. We're gonna start at the bottom of the C cup. You can see kind of the shape here. We're gonna follow that same shape. We're gonna go from the corner of the C cup back to the top of the ear. We'll go ahead, punch this line in. I like to use my slim lines. You guys are new to the channel. I use the slim lines because they're not very sharp, and my boosted will take the bald line out. So we're gonna bald out right here to kind of the middle of his ear here, and we will disconnect his beard. We'll go ahead and fade that in when we get done too. We'll bald this out with the slim line, come in with the shaver, get it all the way down the skin, and we can start working our way up. Now guys, this is the Babyliss UV shaver, absolute beast. I just dropped an unboxing not long ago. Got lots of unboxings. He's sitting in a new barber chair that I got, if you guys didn't see that. This is the Babyliss UV foil that I dropped, and I dropped a few more other tool reviews, and we're gonna test out a trimmer on the other side of his head that I'm gonna drop after this. So if you guys haven't seen those, and if you're not subscribed, make sure you go subscribe and check all that out. So now we'll come in. This is my Custom FX. It does have a taper blade. I'm gonna go lever all the way open, set my first guideline. Not too big, guys. We don't have a ton of room to work. He does want a high taper, so after we fade our way up, we can detail and work our way back down, but this one a nice, consistent, small open section. And now I'll come in with the boosted. Like I said, guys, the taper blade gives us a longer open section. It is going to connect the next panel a little bit easier, and I actually did a video on that as well. I will put it at the end of this video. But then we come in with the boosted because it will take the bald line out, as you guys can see. Now I have it half open, and I'm working my way up into this section. You can see nice and easy, we're already basically got this panel blended together. Bald line out, and we can work our way up to the next step. Now I'll come in, guys, one guard all the way open. We don't have a ton of room here, so I'm kind of flicking out pretty well. You know, he does want a high taper, so it's okay if we get a little light up here. But I'm really kind of trying to connect in if I can. Not such a harsh guideline, and you guys can see we are working our way up. We don't have a crazy guideline. I just want to make sure that it's consistent. And then while we're here, we'll go ahead and close it up right below where it's at. Now, guys, we are working really tight here, so you're not really going to be able to see what we're working on, but just know I'm going right underneath where I did it open. I'm also trying to preserve this hair up here for his vertical bar. So later on, if we line it up and it's too heavy, we can clean it up. But for now, we want to leave hair where we can so that we have that when we try to line it up. So now I'm coming in between the two with the half guard, just making sure that we have a nice transition, and then we'll move on. And basically, all we have left is to connect into that dark that we have up above. We started with a 4, now we're going to come in with a number 3, and we're not trying to see a guideline here. We just want to connect to the 4, and then we'll work our way down. We'll come in with the 2, and finally the 1.5 should tie everything together. And the reason we start with a bigger guard is just to play it safe. I could come in with the 2 and start. I want to make sure that it's at least a 3. Then I know my 2 is safe, and then once we use the 2 and there's still a line, then we'll come in with the 1.5. So we're just kind of playing it safe and making sure we don't do damage. We want to kind of try to go through this not as quick as possible, but efficient as possible. Ideally, I don't chunk it and make any crazy lines. You don't have to come back in and clean something up. So just working our way down. We do a little combination of fading up and blending down. Once I get to the dark links, I like to blend down and kind of use my big guards. You guys can see we're getting it consistent. And all we have left is the 1.5. Now, as we fade down, I'm going to use the 1.5. If it doesn't get everything out, we can continue to work our way down. So we'll do the 1.5, see what we have. If I need to come in with a 1 after that, we can still work our way back through. I can already tell we got a little bit of a weird spot here. So I may need to come back with a 1 and touch a little bit up. But again, we're playing it safe by using longer guards and not causing damage to what we've already done. So 1.5. Once it's not cutting anything, and you still see some spots, like I can see, it's not really bad, it's pretty good, but if you still do see some spots, then we will come back. And again, guys, we know that the 1.5 didn't get it. If there's a spot that it's not getting, then I know that the 1 ideally is gonna get it, and that it's safe to come in because we had just got done using a 1.5. So now, like this dark spot right here, I can come in with the 1, and I know that I'm safe to come and go against this line because the 1.5 was just being used in the same section. So just about got him together, come in detail. You guys know I like to kind of get through it quick, and then if once we get to lining him up and we have kind of a finished picture of what the haircut looks like, then we can come in and even detail a little more if we feel like we need to. So All right, guys, so we're starting off with the number 4, same as we did on the sides. I'm just basically gonna give us a baseline to fade into. So we're gonna come straight up off under the occipital, straight up into the curl. He does like, you know, his curls. He wants to leave a decent amount. We're gonna have to pack this taper pretty low. So high taper on the sides, low taper on the back, but that'll give us a baseline. I'm gonna actually go ahead and fade down from a 4 to a 3. We'll come in with a 2. And if you guys are new to the channel, guys, my way that I teach is I don't care what haircut it is, I can always fade from nothing to a 2. So then my goal here, no matter what is on top of the head, is to cut from, you know, we started with a 4, down to a 3, down to a 2, and then I don't really care that he has a ton of curls or a ton of hair because I know that I can fade to a 2 no matter what. So there's our 3. Now I'm in with the 2. It's all the way closed, and I'm just trying to flick into the 3. I don't want to see any guidelines. And once we have a 2 established, I know that no question I can come in and blend up into a number 2. So we're just setting up ourselves, making it easier. Again, it's some kind of combination of fading up where it's really important, where you really can see it. And once we get up into the longer hair, I can just blend down with my big guards, or you can call it stacking guards. We're just kind of packing them in tight. And now we have a 2 to blend into, super easy. Now we can do our same steps we always do. So we're gonna punch the line in with the slim lines. At the first point that he has consistent hair, balled it out with the same stuff we did on the other side, balled it out with the slim line, come in with the shaver, get it down to skin, and then we will do the same exact steps that we did on the side taper on the back. All right, guys, so same step. We don't have a ton of room, but we're gonna do the open section. And again, I use my Babyliss. And if you guys do watch that, why at a half guard is important. I go into a little more detail about that, but I like to just use this because of the taper blade, set my open section, then we're gonna immediately come in, switch to the boosted, and I will use it the rest of the way through. So clipper closed at the bottom. His hair is growing to the left on this side, so you can see I have my clipper turned, using the corner going up to the right. And that's kind of a key if you guys struggle with taking your tapers too high. Pay attention to the growth pattern of the hair and make sure you're cutting against it so that you don't work it too high. So I'm going against the growth pattern. Now I'm half open. I'm just trying to get these, I can't see it the best because I don't want to step in front of the camera, but just trying to get these hairs that are growing in a funny direction blended in, so I have to go against the direction that it grows. Now here in the middle, it's a little more straightforward. Same steps always though, guys, no matter if it's coarse hair, straight hair, curly hair, you know, how I treat the top is gonna be different. On this cut, we're not cutting it. Basically, once we get down to a 3 or a 2, the fade steps are exactly the same. So if you guys struggle with one hair type, and you feel like it's so different, kind of break it down that way. You know, in his haircut, maybe we could still use a guard and kind of curl sponge it up, but say it was a fro, maybe you freehand the fro. But then on the sides, as long as you can connect to like a number 2, then you know that you can come in and fade to a number 2 because it's no different than if you were cutting my hair. So you gotta start to look at things that way. That is the main thing that I teach in my classes, which by the way, I got a couple dope classes coming up. So stay tuned at the end of the video, see what cities I'm about to come to if you guys wanna learn more about those systems. All right, one guard open, and again, guys, we want to blend in. His hair is growing sideways, so I have to even set my guideline. If I just come in and do this, it's not going to cut a clean guideline. So I'm going against the growth pattern. Same size guideline, not doing anything any different there, but I'm just making sure that I'm cutting against how the hair grows. Now on this side, it's a little straighter. Work our way up. And remember, we're cutting into a 2, guys, so we don't have a super long way to go. All right, so now we'll come in one guard all the way closed. You guys see we're close to having it together, and that's the whole point, guys. Same system, same steps. I don't have to guess. Like I said, if you guys are new, then you don't necessarily know that I do the same steps every time. But when I say I do the same steps every time, I mean every time, guys. It just keeps me consistent. It makes things easier. So one close. If that doesn't get it out, we'll switch to the half guard, halfway open. And guys, again, we're gonna work our way up. Once we're connected, I'll come in and polish. All right, so we started with the 2, guys. So all we have left is the 1.5, and I use it half open. So we're flicking from the 1 into the 1.5, and you guys should see this thing starting to come together. So we know it's a 2 above it. We can flick right into it. And again, we may have to detail, you know, he's got a little indentation right here, so I closed it up. May have to come back to the 1. But we know we went through our steps. We know that, you know, we set our baseline basically with the 4-3-2. So I can come in and know exactly what I'm doing, exactly what I'm cutting, and ideally it's going to give me exactly what I'm looking for. So now I'm pretty much done with the 1.5, and we will continue to work back down to detail, and we'll be done with the back taper. And some of it looks pretty good. Where you guys can see it looks pretty solid. I'm actually going to detail this more when I do the other side, when I can actually step over there and not block the camera. But we got a little bit more detailing to do on this back taper. He's got some difficult growth and some indentions down in the middle. Just work our way down and polish it so we're happy with it. And then, guys, I am going to time lapse the other side before the lineup so you guys follow along. Like I said, I got some new trimmers to try out, and we're going to test them out in this video. And if you guys want to see the whole unboxing on those, you will have to stay tuned. All right, guys, we got the new Flex Trimmer from Stylecraft. I'm gonna test it out. This is the first time that I've used it. So if you guys wanna see the unboxing, make sure you guys check that video out. This is not the blade from the Saber. This is the, I call it like the detailer style blade. Kind of a little bit skinnier than the Saber, but not as small as the precision blade. And then it does have the one cutting blade. So ideally this is gonna cut just as good as the Saber. And I can tell you it is cutting, but you guys can see we're just working down the back of the neck, getting a straight line. Got a decent amount of hair over the ear to work with. So kind of being careful. I'll keep brushing it down, cutting against it until I get it cut down to where I want. And it's curly, so you guys just wanna brush it, line it up, brush it again, line it up until nothing kind of hangs over. So I know that when he, showers or puts product in it or whatever he does, that he's not gonna have hair hanging over the line and kind of make my lineup look sloppy. So I'm just gonna go over it a couple times. We'll move on to the other side, do the same thing, and then line up the front a little bit. He doesn't rock the crispiest, craziest lineup, but we will get the front together a little bit, and you guys can check out the finished product. So like I said, he's got some curl. He doesn't really wear it. He don't really like enhancements. He don't want it crazy. Do you like, this is kind of like hanging low.
Yeah, you can clip it up.
Clean it up a little bit? Okay. Okay, so we're just gonna clean, I'm gonna bring it all down. We're gonna start to edge it, and I'm gonna kind of hit some of this and make sure that it's not hanging over too much. Like I said, he don't want any enhancements, just a decent little line here. And he's got a light corner over here, so I'm gonna start, I wouldn't call it a light corner, lighter than the rest. So guys, I kind of use my trimmer to start the line, cut off what I can that's overhanging as I work across, and then we'll actually just kind of flip the trimmer right here, bring it straight up and take off, whatever's hanging over the hairline. Now I can see the hairline better and just, work through the line. Same thing, brush it a couple of times because he does have some curls and it's gonna move around on us a little bit, but we'll just work it a little bit until we get it exactly where we want. The same thing, like I said, he's light in the corners. He's not light in the corners, not like he's going bald, but just lighter than the middle where he kind of has, not necessarily a widow's peak, but like a lot more hair laying down to the front. So like the front middle is full, where the edges kind of maybe have more hair that's going, up into the curls or whatever. So we're just gonna kind of work it through once, check it again, hit the vertical bars, make sure that it's straight. And you guys can check this out. These things are actually super nice. I'm impressed, guys. There's, I get a lot of tools in, and once I get liking something, it takes a lot for me to, like the Sabers are so good, it's gonna take a lot for me to put the Sabers down. These are all black and they're hitting, they're good. Same thing, now we have it pretty much established. Come this way. And guys, this is a prime cut where like you need a trimmer that's gonna cut through some hair because he's got so much curl overhanging that if this trimmer won't cut through it, I'm gonna have a hard time getting the line sharp and cutting through all that hair. I'm really looking for a trimmer that can cut through some bulk. I get complained at because I talk about cutting through bulk with trimmers, but that's how we use trimmers today these days. So I learned my lesson a long time ago, guys. I got Evan super crispy, probably one of the crispiest hairlines he's ever had, and he don't like enhancements, so we're gonna leave him all natural on this cut. All right, guys, so just a little razor work. I'm just gonna scoot the blade to the line that we already made, get the corner sharp, work my way to the middle. Usually I start in the middle. I don't know why I didn't. Work my way to the middle, get the line sharp. We'll hit the vertical bars. You guys check out this finished cut. I think we got him in there. All right, vertical bar, we'll just come straight to it. We already cut it, so pull the blade straight to it. We don't want to take off a lot more hair. We're just trying to get it sharp. I work this to the other side. Again, following the line that we already did. Hit the vertical bar. And guys, this is the triple cartridge razor from Tomb45. You guys can see the blade is fully exposed, so I can see the whole blade and I can tell exactly where I'm at. This allows me for a little more detail. Sometimes it's hard to get in corners and see what you're doing, but you guys see I can see kind of the details. Now we'll set him up and check this out. All right, guys, that's it for the video. The Honeymoon cut, I hope I got him in there. I think it's fresh. You guys leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think. Like I said, guys, check out those other videos that I was talking about. Make sure you guys are subscribed because I got even more boxes in while I was doing this haircut. Appreciate you guys watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.